Party Time, My Golf Story with Kevin Walsh and whatever special guest he has today. You can check me out on episode 9 of the podcast. Today I'm wearing Grayson clothes while I'm out practicing because I believe in look good, play good. And follow me on Instagram, Sophia Warren Golf, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers. And the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com. Now here's your host, Kevin Walsh.
Hey, welcome to the program. I'm going to timestamp this one right away because the timing of it is critical. What we're talking about is recent news based on the taping of this, but when it actually airs, it's going to be a little bit later. So I don't want there to be any confusion about that. Pulling back a little curtain here at Party Time, My Golf Story. We record everything. Nothing is live. We're live to tape is what the industry vernacular is with it. So every now and then things are dated. And so I give you that timestamp based on what's going to be the recent news that we're going to talk about. Nick Newman is our guest. He is a caddy on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's also caddied on the PGA Tour. He's also been a club pro caddy. So he's been around the block and he's seen some pretty cool things. And he has some really cool stories to tell and good news to share. He is going, speaking of peeling back the curtain, he is going to peel back the curtain on the pressure of playing in tour school. Shot to shot, round to round, discussions between player and caddy, what they were feeling at the time, how it all turned out, what their dreams are, what their disappointments have been. And I've seen some of them up close. I think you're really going to enjoy the conversation with Nick Newman. Big thanks to our title sponsor, Party Drinks. If your dream is to, that's actually the real estate part of the script. I don't have a script. I just speak extemporaneously. But if you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course and you're a little bit tired of beer or hard seltzers, or whatever it is that you're indulging in, try one of these things in the bookshelf behind me or over my shoulder. Try a Party. Signature golf cocktails for golfers by golfers. And we will have information on where if you don't have it at your golf club right now, then you can get it. All right. And a big thanks to the golf real estate pros. This is where I was going in first before I punted or fumbled. If your dream is to live on a golf course in golfing paradise, especially the Sarasota area, in a golf resort community, then the golf real estate pros of Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro from suncoastdreams.com absolutely have you covered, especially at Lakewood National Golf Club and soon to be coming Calusa Country Club. Vince and Gene live in the neighborhood at Lakewood National, so they know it like the back of their hands. All right? So that is that. So let's bring the man of the hour on. Nick Newman, dude, I am so damn proud of you. I am so proud of you because I think I have a pretty good feel for what your dreams are, what you've been through in the caddy ranks. You've seen some good times. You've seen some bad times. And the last time we spoke was last week, and you were around into second stage of Q School, and you had a good opening round of 4 under par. Why don't you break the news? Why don't you say how it all ended?
Cooper Musselman advanced through second stage. The kid I caddied for. Let's go.
I mean, how cool is that? Because you're both from Louisville, and you knew him before he knew you, and the pressure of getting through Q School. We're gonna get into that and everything. So that was, you got in. We're recording this on a Monday night. You finished on Friday.
Yeah, last Friday.
Okay. So I think this is becoming for some people, this is their favorite part of the podcast. I don't know if that means I'm about to be unhosted as the host of the podcast, but I'm happy to have you here. It's Gene Walsh from suncoastdreams.com. How we doing, honey?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Don't worry, your job is secure.
Okay. You do the real estate, I'll do the broadcasting part of it. So give me an update on the market. I know you had a pretty wild weekend, I mean, in the best of ways, with a lot of traction. Tell me.
Yes, open houses are picking up. We had 2 in the neighborhood, and one in particular had over 30 people come through. The second one had about 8 different groups.
Okay, so that's a lot, and within that group, there's probably a couple of buyers. So that's a good thing. First house is on Cessna. Tell me about it.
Yes, it's a lovely 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a pool and a spa on the Commander course, 17th hole, beautiful golf course view.
And this was one of the original neighborhoods. I think this was the first street that was built out, like right by the gate. And the other one is?
The other one is on Cheech Glen, 5713. It's a beautiful 2-story home.
And that's on the 6th hole of the Piper course. So really good there. And anything else going on?
Well, we have, aside from those 2 homes, there are 9 other homes for sale in the neighborhood. So there's something for everyone.
Not just at Lakewood National, but across the street at Calusa Country Club.
Yes, Calusa Country Club is a new development. There's nothing built yet, so it's very much at the beginning stage.
Okay. And Lakewood National's all built out and good stuff. Any rentals going on? Because I know some people are not ready to pull the trigger. Maybe that's down the road, but this is kind of like a way to test the waters. And also with the rentals, you get the membership for the golf.
Yes, there is a transfer to the membership, which is really great. I have 2 rentals right now, one that has availability for January. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, great golf course view, wonderful location right next to the practice facility and the amenities. And then the second one is a coach home, January and February available. And it's a larger home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2.5-car garage, gorgeous sunset views.
And we talk about the transfer or the membership, not just the golf, but everything. Gene Walsh, suncoastdreams.com. Okay. Is the party still going on, or you've recovered and you've moved on from that?
I've kind of moved on. I think he's still partying down in Florida, but yeah, it's definitely been a fun ride so far.
Yeah, I mean, what a turnaround for him. He lost his Corn Ferry Tour card in 2023, which, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think that may have turned out to be something of a blessing in disguise. But just round to round, heading into it, what's the feel? Like caddy to player, what are you and Cooper Musselman talking about? Or you're not talking about much? You tell me.
Second stage is the hardest tournament in golf, so the stress is at an all-time high. So we're just trying to keep it more laid back on the golf course is what we're about.
So you're trying to keep it cool, but listen, I mean, everybody is feeling it, whether they're showing it, whether they're talking about it, whether they're expressing it. Okay. What are you, as much as you're trying to keep it laid back, how are you feeling? Describe the bodily functions. I want to feel it. Make me feel it.
I mean, the nerves are definitely really high. I'm trying to stay as calm as I can for Cooper, but I'm definitely nervous the whole week. I mean, I was nervous until he hit his last wedge shot on the 72nd hole. And I mean, I bet he was too. So it's just a high pressure week that nobody really wants to go through, but I mean, they have to go through it if they want their job back, right?
Well, he got it back and then some. And
That's
in
right.
fact, there were some moments where you thought maybe you could win the whole damn thing, but 19 under par over 4 rounds. I mean, that is good stuff. Tell me about Cooper, for those that are not familiar with him, just what the family name means in Louisville, Kentucky, just who he was as a player when you met him and how you met him and got the job.
Yeah, so his grandpa and dad were really good at golf. I think his grandpa might have played on the PGA Tour for a couple of years. So the Musselman name in the golf community is massive. So I knew of him. He's 3 years older than me, so I knew of him. So how I got the job is I actually direct messaged him on Instagram and asked if he needed a caddy for one of the Monday Qs that he was in down in Florida. And he sure enough said, yeah. And then we got along, and now look at us. I've done a full year for him on Corn Ferry and done every Q school since for probably 4 years for him now. So we've caught on.
Yeah, that's cool. And heading into the second stage of Q School, I think he had a bit of momentum. First of all, he went on the West Florida Golf Tour, which is near and dear to our hearts here at Party Time, My Golf Story, because when we originally launched a little more than a year ago, we asked Christian Bartolacci, the commissioner of the West Florida Golf Tour, can you introduce us to some of the golfers who can tell us their stories? And so we wanted to start hyper local, which we did. And as of this record, and when we started, we wanted to have, we thought if we could get 1,000 subscribers, that would be really good. And as of this recording, we have 7,500 subscribers and 222,000 views. And I think it's because of people like you, Nick, telling stories about your life, and Cooper Musselman and the Christian DeMarcos, the Christian Bartolaccis of the world. I think people are inherently, passionately curious about what goes on inside the ropes, and we're going to do that. So Cooper was heading into Q School, coming off a win on the West Florida Golf Tour, but he had also won quite a few mini tour events prior to that when he had no status at all. How do you think that helped him?
I mean, winning at any time raises your confidence tremendously. And then I think he Mondayed in 3 or 4 times to a PGA Tour event, so he knew how to go low. So his confidence was at an all-time high, and still is.
And it should be. So let's take a dive into the numbers, all right? So you went in with a good mindset. You're trying to stay calm and everything. He was just coming off a win on the West Florida Golf Tour, and he had won a couple mini tour events. As you said, winning at any level breeds confidence. But generally speaking, did he just seem more prepared and ready to go than you've ever seen him before?
He seemed more relaxed. Like he didn't really care, honestly, where the ball went, even in the practice rounds. So that was nice.
So he was staying athletic and probably trusting the process.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting at there?
Exactly. And his confidence was at an all-time high again.
Yeah. Okay. So getting off to a good start, I would say, is critical in an event like that. You can't win it on the first day. You can certainly lose it. All right. I mean, that's as old as the day is long in golf. But you started out in round one, a little bit of a slower start, 5 straight pars, and then some birdies to go, 3 under on the front. First of all, the start, were you guys looking to just kind of no real noise, get settled in, but then you turned it on. Walk me through it.
Yeah, you always want to hit every fairway and green early because that breeds confidence, right? So that's what he did. I think that first round he only missed. I don't think he missed a green. So I knew he was hitting it well. He knew he was hitting it well. The putts just had to fall. And luckily they did in that round, and then into the next day.
Okay. So 3 under on the front. I'm 18 greens in regular. Yeah, I would say you're hitting it good. And even if you're not making a lot of, well, even if you're not making a ton of putts, they're going to fall at some point
exactly.
So round one, you're 4 under par. How are you guys feeling? Did you talk about it? Are you feeling great, or did you feel there was unfinished business? I mean, what's the mindset?
We knew it was a good day, but we both look at the boards and we're like, holy crap, 4 unders at like T17 is the cut line. We thought it'd be like 2 or 3 or maybe even 1. We're like, crap, these boys are going low this year. So we're going to really have to put them on them the next 3 days. So,
well, you did in round 2, because that's when he really caught fire. Bogey free, 8 under par, 64. Tell me about that.
Those are the rounds. Those are why we caddy and play, right? I mean, I think he missed 1 fairway and maybe 1 green again. No bogeys. We still haven't bogeyed the whole tournament, which was unreal. In Q School, no bogeys are obviously anywhere. That's really good. So to shoot 8 under on the second day kind of put us, I think we were in 5th. So it kind of put us in the driver's seat, knowing two more windy days were coming. Like the weather came in the last 2 days. So we knew if we got up there after the first 2 days that all we had to do was kind of keep steady to get through.
Do you guys talk about it after the round, or there's really nothing to talk about after 8 under par, 64 in your place?
Yeah, we didn't really talk after that. I fist bumped him. I said, good going. We're not done yet. And then he went and hit range balls for probably 30 minutes and then putted for another probably 10 just to get that feel.
Yeah. Yeah, to keep it going, to keep it
That's right.
a little bit longer, especially with some windy weather coming in. Nick Newman is our guest here on Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative, you can see some of the information on the bottom of the screen. So if you're a golf club and you don't have Party yet, get in touch with our distributor, Paradise Craft Distributors. It is the exclusive distributor of Party around, and they'll get you all set up. All right, so you start round 3. Some weather's coming in, and what's the goal on that day, and what's the feel starting things out?
Oh, yeah, we had a cold front blow through. It was probably 40, 45 degrees, which is really hard to warm up in for these guys, especially he's a little older. So he had to do a little longer warm up, and it was actually raining for our warm up. So that was great for a caddy, holding the umbrella, having the towel, an extra towel. I had to be like an octopus for the warm up, but my hand with different hands is what I meant by that. But for the third round, we knew it was going to be windy, so all we had to go out there and do is post 2 or 3 red, and we would be fine for the day, and that's what he did.
Yeah, well, let's kind of get into it. Like at one point, you're 4 under through 14, couple of bogeys coming in. Like when the bogeys happen, I mean, you hadn't had a bogey until the third round.
Third round, 15th hole, 50th hole of the tournament was our first bogey. We caught we were playing it down that day. We caught a mud ball, and it just kind of flew straight right on us with wind out of the left. Hit a bad chip and then missed the putt, but happens.
What's the feeling? Do you talk about like, hey, that was nothing. It was just, bogey's fine.
I said, dude, we caught a bad break. I mean, the whole ball was covered in mud. We had no clue where that ball was going to go, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a guessing game.
Okay. So 2 under par on a windy day. Still feeling good about where you are at that point, and where are you like positionally after the third round?
Oh yeah, we were feeling good. I think we were still T5. I think 2 under kind of held its position that day because we had gusts of 40 out of the west northwest, which was a tough wind for that course. So we were feeling good. We were thinking maybe let's go shoot 2 or 3 under the final day. And at minimum, and we'll see where that puts us.
Well, you did a little bit better than that. Okay, so let's go through it. 4 under par through 15, 3 straight birdies, finished 5 under on the round. Okay, so I gave it away. Darn it! But what are you talking? Is there any pep talk? Is there any preparation talk before you tee it up in that final round?
We both knew what we had to do. I mean, he's been in that position so many times. And this is my 3rd or 4th Q school with him. So we didn't really do much talking. We knew we were all down to business. And then he kind of hit a squirrely drive on one, hit a terrible wedge shot on one, to be honest with you, like a 60 degree to like 25 feet. It was not good. And he canned the putt. He made the putt. So that kind of eased his nerves a little. And then we were off and running.
All right, so you probably felt like you stole one. You got a break,
right.
and you took advantage. You still have to take advantage, or are you just feeling like, hey, maybe this is gonna go our way? But you still got a lot of golf you got to play.
Yeah.
4 under through 15, including 3 straight birdies. At some point you got to know you're well within the line. Okay, so as you're coming down the final couple holes, how's he feeling? What's your read on him? How are you feeling? And what's the plan from that point forward?
I was after our second birdie there on the back 9 on 14. I'm like, crap, we may have a chance of winning this because if you win it, you get the first 8 guaranteed starts on the Corn Ferry. So I'm like, crap, let's keep this going. We may have a chance to win. So I looked at the leaderboard, and we were at that point only 3 off the lead through 15 holes, through 14 holes. So I'm like, and the leader was only 2 holes behind us. So I'm like, we got a shot of really winning. And then I guess Marcelo Rozo just decided to go off on those last couple holes, but it is what it is.
And you and Cooper are having a discussion about that. And then at some point you backed off a little and protected. What was that all about?
He looked at me on 17 and he goes, what are we at? And I said, 18 under. And he goes, what's Marcelo at, the leader at the time? And I go, He's at 23 under. Let's just play it safe here. Middle of the green on this one. So we hit it. I actually hit it in the bunker on 17, but he got it up and in for par. We were trying to hit it in the middle of the green. And then 18, he asked me again on the fairway after we had like 250 hole, right? In from right, wind. Would have been a perfect 3-wood. And he asked me, he goes, what's Rozo at? And I go, he's still at 23 under. He goes, what are we again? I said, 18. And I said, dude, let's just lay up with our 9-iron and we'll hit our sand or gap wedge in or whatever it is, lob wedge, and we'll get out of here. Worst case par, you know what I mean? Do we really think Rozo's going to blow this? And he goes, no, let's just lay up. So that's what we did just to get through.
Well, you made birdie anyway, so I'm sure you. But an eagle wouldn't have made a difference, but like a double bogey would have made a massive difference. And yeah. Go ahead. Keep. I'm sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
You don't want to bring triple into play, right? With a stupid. If you hit 3-wood, there's a hazard short and right. I mean, if you were to fan one right, you want to bring in that situation. You want to bring triple, double, a 9 into play. I mean, a big number.
Yeah, hell no. Yeah, I mean, just not laying up with a 9-iron. You just don't hear professional golfers do that much. A 9-iron than a wedge.
Yeah, I was pretty much forcing it in his hand.
Right. I got it. All right. So he gets it on the green. You probably know at that point that you got it in the bag. You get a bonus birdie, which is it's always great to finish on a birdie. But what did he say to you where it maybe revealed some nerves that you weren't picking up on that were there all along?
We hit our wedge shot into 18 and he looks at me and he goes, dude, I can finally breathe now. And I go, what do you mean? You haven't been able to breathe? And he goes, no, dude, I haven't been able to breathe all week. And I go, oh, dude, you're fine. You've been playing well all summer. I had confidence in you. So that just goes to show you how stressful Q school is, even for somebody playing as well as he ever has.
Right. I mean, it's your future's on the line. It all comes up to that and you have to perform. And he got the job done.
Oh yeah.
So what's next? You guys are not done. I mean, so you've got like good status, but there's no like full status as maybe it once was. You got, some guaranteed starts, but there's more to be done. And there's a bigger prize. What's coming down the road for you guys? What's the next step?
December 12th through 15th, final stage in Jacksonville. Top 5 and ties get a PGA card. And then top 45 get first 8 guaranteed on Korn Ferry. So still a lot to play for.
All right. And what do you do in preparation for that, Nick? And more importantly, what does Cooper do?
So he actually went down to Florida this week to get more practice on Bermuda down in Naples. Because we're from Kentucky. We don't really know Bermuda. I mean, we know it, but not as much as those Southern boys. So he'll go keep practicing on Bermuda, and then I'll show up on a couple days before. It's 2 courses, so I'll have to scout 2 courses that week. Be a lot of work, but I mean, it's worth it for a PGA Tour card. Come on now.
Oh yeah, that's what. I mean, that'd be fantastic, and it sounds like you guys his game's in a good place. You guys are riding a hot hand. His wins on the mini tours, it's translating into success back on Korn Ferry and maybe something bigger. Looking back on 2023, I know you were terribly disappointed, as was he, in losing the card. But do you think that turned out to be a blessing in disguise?
Yeah, I think it definitely fired him up. Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to be without a job for a year, right? Like a good paying full-time job. So I mean, he had to go back and play mini tours, and I think that definitely lit a fire under his belt.
Mm-hmm. And he put in more time. Like, so I take it you didn't see him for a while. Like when you saw, I mean, could you just feel it? Like there was just fire within, just waiting to get out.
The first time I saw him, the last time I saw him, honestly, was Columbus in 2023. And then I saw him first stage just this past October in Indiana. And yeah, I mean, you could tell he's more confident. 1, 2, he had a fire under his belt. And 3, he was kind of tired of playing the mini tours. Like, let's go. Let's get through this Q school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good guy to be lugging his bag around. A guy that has a ton of motivation and a ton of talent. And so we're going to follow up with you in a couple of weeks. I hope it works out. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you because then we'll have even more stuff to talk about. But I want to talk about you, buddy. I want to talk about you. I appreciate you cleaning up for this first and foremost, because one of the last times I saw you, you had a god-awful, ridiculous mullet on your head. And naturally, caddies like to play pranks on each other, make crazy bets. And why don't you pick it up from there? How'd you end up with a mullet?
Well, I don't have one now. That's good. But Matt McCarty's caddy, we made a bet in Kansas. No, it was one of the tournaments. We made a bet which player would do better. And I was caddying for KK Limbasuit at the time. We made the bet. And we made the bet who would play better within like best of 7 tournaments. And McCarty was coming off like 2 missed cuts in a row, and we were coming off like 3 or something. And I'm like, I got confidence in my guy. Let's go. And then McCartney's his nickname. McCarty went on to win 3 times to end the year. So I had to get a mullet.
And then he went on to the PGA Tour, won there. You had the mullet. When did you get rid of it? And how ridiculous did it become? And what was the final straw?
Oh, it had some lettuce back there, but I got rid of it. I don't even know, probably a couple weeks after his 3rd win. And then, his caddy made me etch a thing in the side that said tour, TOUR. So that's just one of our jokes. We're tour caddies, tour players, right? So yeah, won't ever do that again.
Looking like an ass with a mullet.
I was.
Hey, I was wildly entertained by that. Tell me your golf story. You're a good player, and clearly you love the game of golf. You want to stay in it, but who got you introduced to the game from the beginning?
My dad and mom. I grew up playing. Started when I was 8. My grandpa, all my cousins play, my whole family. So I've just been around it my whole life. It's awesome.
Tell me about where you grew up. What's the old neighborhood like? What street did you live on, and what was life like back then? I mean, it wasn't all that long ago. How old are you?
26. So.
Oh, okay. Maybe take me back to the formative years and just what was going on with you and the neighbors.
Yeah, I grew up trying to play every sport. I was that kid. Yeah. Lacrosse, basketball, golf, football. I've played them all. Hockey. But I guess golf just stuck because I loved being outdoors. I loved playing with my brother, my dad, kind of more laid back environment, individual sport. I didn't really like team sports, to be honest.
And tell me about your brother. There's a pretty good sibling rivalry going on. What's the genesis of that?
I mean, we got totally 2 opposite types of golf games, right? I'm kind of straighter and my short game's pretty good, and he's long and just hits it kind of everywhere. But he's tidied up his short game a little lately. But yeah, every time we try to play, we try to beat each other. I want to beat him every time we play.
And well, I mean, is it even, or is it heavy-handed in one way or the other?
This year I was kind of a little better. He couldn't really get off the tee, but usually we're about even, 3-4 handicap wise.
Nick Newman is our guest here on Party Time. He's a professional caddy. He loops for Cooper Musselman, who advanced through the 2nd stage of Q School. Now he's on to the final stage and hopefully a shot at the PGA Tour, but just or additional status on the Korn Ferry Tour. Bit by bit they go, and it's been a nice rebound for Cooper after losing his card after the 2023 season. I didn't meet him, but I remember following you and Cooper at Lakewood National Golf Club in 2023. Do you remember that? Do you remember the guy walking around with a backpack full of parties, making some noise?
Oh, yeah. And Cooper actually recognized you on one of the holes. He goes, who's this guy that keeps following us and clapping for us? And I go, dude, that's Kevin. I caddied with him at Concession. He's the man. And you were just, I guess, there with a backpack full of parties.
Oh, I was feeling it in more ways than one. But you guys went 3 under through the 5 holes. So I'm taking some credit for that, by the way. I show up and the birdies start rolling in. Look about, he missed the cut, right?
Yeah, I think we missed by 2 or 3. But hey, Is what it is. We need you in Jacksonville in 3 weeks.
You know what? Hey, listen, 305 holes when I'm there. I should have been there sooner. Maybe we can arrange that. Although, you know what? The pressure at that is so high. I don't think I'd be walking around with a backpack of parties. I mean, it's just,
that's fair.
Because I don't want to mess somebody up and make an old Cole out of myself. How's your golf right now? What's your handicap?
I think I'm a 3 right now.
Mm-hmm. How much golf are you playing?
Been playing
What's
a
that?
lot. Been playing a lot just because we're in between that kind of shoulder season where all we're really caddying is Q schools and maybe a Monday qualifier or two for the fall PGA events.
Are you serious about your golf, or is it just a chance to have fun, have a couple beverages, gamble, and spend time with your boys?
I just like having fun out there now. I'm not really that serious anymore. If I hit a bad shot, I honestly don't really care. I'll just go back to the cart and have a beverage.
Sounds good. Sounds like you have plenty of company in that regard. What's the lowest round you ever shot?
I think 2 under, 69 at Oldham County Country Club here in Kentucky. Kind of easier track, but I mean, small greens, usually really firm in the summers.
But what was that like? Just breaking 70 for the first time?
I knew I was going low, but I look at the card, I'm like 15 or 16, and I think I was like 3 under, and I'm like, or maybe even 4, and I'm like, oh crap, we got a chance. And then I knew what I was at then, so I made like a bogey or 2 coming in, but still, it was my best round I've ever shot. So went and had a few drinks after that one.
Yeah, I bet. But wait a minute. So you got a good round going, and then you check the score, and you start puckering a little bit because you know you're out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Start playing a little defensive.
I did. Pull a 9-iron or 2 coming in. Yeah, that was me.
All right. Well, that means you have company. And I would say, like, you know, one of the things with getting through second stage with Cooper is like you guys stayed aggressive the whole until the very end when it would have been foolish to be aggressive. I mean, was that the whole point? We're playing offense, we're not playing defense this whole event.
That's what that was my mentality. I don't know, but we didn't really talk about it, but that was my mentality. There was one time, the 3rd round, it was a drivable par 4, and he goes, dude, we got wind in from left, but the front edge was only like 240 and the pin was like 255, and there was water all short. And I wanted them to hit a 3-wood at the green, like stay on the gas, let's go. And he laid up and hit a terrible wedge in there. His wedges are kind of iffy right now, but that's when I'm like, crap, is he starting to get defensive on me? But no, we stayed on the offense pretty much the whole tournament except that hole.
Okay. When you're having that little disagreement or confrontation or whatever, like how aggressive are you with it?
I mean, it's Q school. So, I mean, if he would have fanned a 3-wood, I'm like, that would have kind of brought in a little trouble, but I knew he could do it. He was playing so well. In that situation, I kind of just let him lay up with his 6-iron and wedge it in. But like if we were going for the lead, definitely hit that 3-wood. I mean, come on, nothing to lose. Like if we were like actually playing the Corn Ferry Tour event, rip a 3-wood.
Stay on the offense, be aggressive, and then I mean you're letting it flow. But you had a couple. Tell me about the one moment where you had a decision to make. There was a bad lie in the bunker, and that may have been a game changer.
Round 1. So we hit in this big bunker on hole 9. We were up against the lip. We had 179 hole, back left pin, marsh short and long of it. So I'm like, oh crap. Let's just take an 8 or 9-iron and lay up like short right, like have your 20-yard, 30-yard chip. So that way we don't hit the lip, right? And he goes, dude, I think I see this shot. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I got a 7-iron right now. And I said, oh boy, I was honest. That's the one time this week I was nervous. And he goes, dude, I got this. And I go, all right, dude, 100% commit right here. And that's the highest 7-iron I've ever seen. It went back right of the green, perfect shot for that circumstance. it was probably 40 feet, cans the putt, makes it birdie. And I'm like, that is one of the coolest birdies I've ever seen.
Right. And do you think it led to other just momentum from really that point where it's just like, okay, I'm controlling my own destiny. I'm playing aggressive golf, and that was a game changer. Anything else? Did you get any like really ridiculous good breaks or bad breaks where it was a little bit iffy? It could have gone the other way.
I mean, we were 6 inside the cut line, but on 16 the last day, we had wind straight off the left, and he kind of cut this driver, missed it a little, and it was just flying straight right into the trees off the wind. And I'm like, I honestly wasn't too worried. I'm like, okay, it's a hazard over there. Worst case, we're going to make a bogey or 6. We're 6 inside the cut line with 3 to play, right? And I just saw this thing going. And it just slams this tree and goes right back into the middle of the fairway. I'm like, well, when it's your week, it's your week, is what I told Coop.
Yeah, that's cool. It was definitely your week. We need another good week out of you, a couple weeks coming up, and get you on the big tour. That's the dream, right? PGA Tour.
Yeah, for him and I, obviously. But yeah, that's where we want to be. That's where the big money's at. That's where the TV deals are at. That's where everything's at.
Yep, you want to be there. What's life like though on the Corn Ferry Tour? For those that we have a pretty good setup here at Lakewood National Golf Club. I know you enjoyed yourself when you were here, but ultimately, a lot of guys are staying. They're trying to keep expenses down. They might be staying with families, not the best of hotels. How would you describe it to somebody that is just curious how it all goes down?
We try to get host houses as much as possible. By the way, Lakewood National is awesome. The hosts there are awesome. That's one of my favorite tournaments of the year because of the host and the neighborhood. But other than that, we kind of cram into hotel rooms, 2 or 3 caddies in a hotel room a week.
Just trying to save some money. What's the bed situation? Sometimes there's more bodies than beds, and who gets the couch? Who gets the floor? Is there a pecking order? How does it work out?
So whoever books the room usually gets first pick. Whoever books, we're all paying the same amount, but whoever puts like their credit card in the room books it, gets first dibs, and then the other 2, it's just first come, first serve. And sometimes you alternate if they want. It just depends.
How do you get paid? I know there's a percentage. I don't know what exactly it is, but are you given a stipend to start the week?
Yeah, a couple, like 15 or 1600 usually on Corn Ferry, and then like $1,000, 800 to $1,000 more on PGA Tour. And then you get 8% for anything if you make the cut, and then 10% if you win.
Okay, so that's that seems to me like a bump from like I remember years ago it used to be like 4%, 7% for a top 10, and then 10% for a win. But it just seems like it's all just kind of gone up because it's not cheap, even for the caddies who are trying to do it on the cheap. There's no cheap, even when you're trying to do it on the cheap. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Inflation, everything's going to go up, just cost of living. So it's probably why the prices went up. And rarely guys are working for less than 8% now.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Well, you guys deserve it. You're away from your families as much as they are from theirs. And you're invested in and still money's tight and you're trying to fulfill your dreams too. Caddies and stereotypes. I know some people think of them as drifters, partiers, wild children. I know you've seen your share of some of that, but is it changing? Or guys starting to get more serious about the job?
I think it's changing, yeah, especially the tour caddies, because they know where their money's coming from, right? The player, you don't want to be showing up hungover and drunk and crap like that.
And the physical fitness of some guys, I know you went on a run before here. Is that part of it, or like caddies pumping iron now? What's going on here?
A lot of them are. You want to be able to, go 18 with your locked in the whole 6 hours, because you got to be, you're pretty much walking for 6 hours from warm up to the end of the round. So, you got to be fit. Especially some of these hilly courses we go to.
Yeah. How much does that bag weigh? A tour bag. What's the standard weight of a tour bag?
I think like 40 pounds, maybe. In the rain. In the rain, it's probably 55 because you have the umbrella, 2 or 3 towels, his rain gear, my rain gear. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's a lot. Hey, before there was caddying, there was college, and you worked for the legendary Rick Pitino. What was that all about? Did he ever make you cry? Be honest.
No. No, not really. No. Mm-mm.
So what did you do? Tell me about working for him.
I was a student manager at Louisville for the men's and women's teams. Rick Pitino, he was honestly one of the best coaches at Louisville because just the way he ran stuff, right? His practices were well ran. His program was well ran. I guess you could say that till he got in trouble. But as far as
what do you mean it's well run? Like what about it is well run? I mean, give me an example that would people be like, whoa, okay.
Just I don't know. His practices were like down to the minute. Like if you were a minute late, the managers would get ripped, whoever was keeping clock, or like everything had to be perfect and on time.
So what do you mean? Like you're doing certain drills or whatever for X amount of time, then you're moving on, and it's all so just like itinerary?
Practice starts at 3, warm-ups till 3:12, stretching until 3:25, and then 3-man drills until 3:29 or whatever. If you were at 3:30, he would rip you. Because he was strict about his time. He wanted to be in the gym for 3 hours minimum. From warm up to cool down, that's it.
And you're saying every minute of that 3 hours is documented. That's like, this is how it's going. This is the plan. Execute it.
But rarely did practice go 3 hours, right? Because during the season, you don't want to be practicing 3 hours with games 2 or 3 nights a week.
Yeah, gotcha. So back to the caddying, Nick. How long will you chase the dream? I mean, the dream could come true pretty soon. But if it doesn't, are you in it for the long haul to win it? Or is there like a deadline? Hey, when I get to this age, maybe time to consider something else.
I haven't really thought about that, but I mean, we're close. So just keep treading along, right? Keep going.
Yep. Well, as part of being a professional caddy, you've been a participant or on the bag of different pros for pro-ams, and sometimes those amateurs, every now and then they're pretty good, but for the most part they're regular Joes and Janes, right? And they don't have a good handle on the game. You have a good handle on the game as somebody that's been around it for a long time and is a good player. If you could give one tip that would just universally help everybody, what would it be?
Make sure your mental side of the game's in check. If you hit a bad shot, honestly, who cares? Just go hit the next, wherever the ball is, go hit it again. And don't get too upset with yourself because know your standards. I mean, know how well you hit it, know where your misses are. And just give yourself a little credit where it's due, I guess. Mental side of the game, make sure it's strong. Make sure it's strong,
but be your friend. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Exactly.
But tell me this: do you think like the average Joes get extra nervous because they're with pros, and in the end, should they be nervous at all being around golf pros?
No, not at all. Pros honestly don't care how bad you are as long as you play quick. When we're in a pro-am.
Isn't that the truth? So I heard a great story. I'll share this with you, and you can share it before. I was caddying for this guy that played in a pro-am with Shane Lowry, and he asked Shane. He confessed to Shane that he was a bit nervous, and he said, "Can you give me some advice because I'm feeling really nervous?" And Shane goes, just whatever you do, don't try to impress me. He's like, there's nothing you can do to impress me. He's like, I play golf with Rory McIlroy 4 times a week. There's nothing you can do to impress me. Just play and have a good time. I mean, that would work for anybody, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen it all. We've seen the bad. We've seen the good. I mean, just go play golf. Just
right.
golf.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing shank stops or whatever. It's like it doesn't bother you. There's no reason to be embarrassed. And by the way, all the pros they've done it too. So.
They do it all the time. I mean, I saw a couple last week during the tournament.
Really? Oh, tell me about those. I want to hear about this.
One of the players we were playing with in the first round hit like I don't know what it was. It kind of just went straight left off the tee. And he made birdie out of it, actually. He was kind of in the trees and hit this hook second shot to like 15 feet. So, I mean, he got mad after the first shot. He threw his club once or twice. But, yeah, I don't know how he made birdie, honestly. But because it went about 150 yards straight left off the tee.
So we all hit the bad shots. Hopefully the next time you and I play, Nick, no bad shots for me. But, if you hit a bad shot, I won't rub it in too much. I'll tell you, stop trying to impress me. Shane Lowry. Yeah, I'm just going to tell you. What a guy. Hey, you're a good guy too, Nick. Listen, I wish you nothing but the best. Keep in touch from final stage. I want to know everything. And then I want to follow up, good or bad, all right, to update people, because I think you're an interesting guy. You're a fascinating story. And I think we're all cheering for Coop. We hope both your dreams come true in a couple of weeks. All right. Is that a deal? Keep in touch with me, bud.
All righty. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. For Nick Newman, I'm Kevin Walsh. Thank you for watching Party Time, brought to you by Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course, then try a Party. And if your dream is to live in a golf real estate community or a golf resort community like Lakewood National Golf Club in Sarasota and soon to becoming Calusa Country Club, Gene Events got you covered. Check them out at suncoaststreams.com. For Nick Newman, I'm Kevin Walsh. We'll see you again next time on Party Time, My Golf Story.
You've been listening to It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers, and the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoaststreams.com or call 941-220-4000.
This is Vince Vizzacaro and Gene Walsh with the suncoaststreams.com real estate team at Fine Properties. We've helped hundreds of families find their dream homes in golf and resort communities in Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton, Sarasota, Parrish, Venice, and the surrounding areas.
Let us be your guides to finding your dream home here as well. Learn more at suncoaststreams.com or call us at 941-220-4000.